Hi everyone, it's Lauren and today I have a cheeky book haul for you. All of my book hauls are cheeky, really, because I shouldn't be buying more books. I've got plenty to be going on with, but I've acquired some quite exciting books over the past few weeks, so I thought I would put them all in a video to share with you. So the first few books that I have to show you are a selection of 4 quite different graphic novels. A few weeks ago I went on a bookshop crawl with Jean and Sana and we went to Gosh Comics in Soho, and I've never read a graphic novel before, so I was asking them for recommendations, and it was so fun. It was brilliant. I felt like I was in my own personalised booktube video, that I'd stepped through the screen and I was like, what shall I buy? And they were like, this. I was like, thank you. So I got a range of some different types of graphic novels to give me a taster of all the different sort of genres that are out there. So the first one I got, which you may have seen already in my October wrap-up, is Rat Queens, which I got as my sort of comics type purchase, and I quite liked this. I've read this already because it's not very long. If you've not seen my October wrap-up, I'll link it below. So this was my nod to the more comic style of graphic novel. The next one I got is one that everybody has recommended to me. Every time I say I've never read a graphic novel, people say, read Persepolis. So I got Persepolis. This is both volumes, a story of a childhood and a story of a return in the same book. This is a memoir by Marjane Satrapi about growing up in Iran when the Islamic Revolution happened. And I've seen clips of it because there's a film made of it, and I've seen a little bit of it on the telly before, so I sort of know what to expect. And it's beautiful black and white images. I'm sure you are familiar with Persepolis because so many people are, and even people that don't read a lot of graphic novels have told me that they really enjoy this. So this one I think is a bit more wordy, I suppose, or a bit closer to the normal structure of a novel, maybe. That's just how I feel about it anyway. And then I also wanted to get one which was much more artistic and perhaps more about the atmosphere and the pictures rather than specifically the words. So I got Through the Woods, which Sana heavily recommended, and it looks quite spooky. There's lots of really beautiful different pictures in here. So I think this is going to be, again, a bit of a different angle on the graphic novel genre than Persepolis, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I think about this one. And then the last one that I got was one that I just saw on the side and it just grabbed me, and I thought, oh, that looks really interesting, and that is The Wrong Place by Brecht. And I've not heard of this book, and the others hadn't either, and I just thought it looked really cool. I really liked the art style. It's kind of watercolours and very interesting different shades, and the way the story is laid out looks quite interesting and different and all over the place. And I just really liked the artwork. I just saw it and I thought, ooh, that just looks really cool. And I guess that's the idea. If I'm trying to work out what style I'm going to enjoy in a graphic novel, or work out what my taste is, I just needed to dive in. I got the recommendations and I thought, and then one that I just like the look of myself, and see what I think of it. So here are my 4 graphic novel-y options. And then on the same day we also went into Foyles, and I couldn't help not buy The Gracekeepers by Kirsty Logan. We were just walking around. I was all like, no, I've bought my graphic novels, I don't need to get anything else. And then I saw this and was like, no, I actually also need to buy this. I've heard so much about this, and I just kind of saw it and grabbed it and thought, I really want to read something magical and fantastical. It's about a girl who lives on a circus boat with her bear because the earth has been flooded, and I don't know, I guess they go on different adventures and things. I've heard little snippets from people, and I just want to go in and see what it's like because it's such a beautiful book, and I've honestly not heard a bad word against it. So the next couple of books I have to show you were sent to me by publishers, and the first one of those is In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. You may have seen this going around a couple of other people's booktube channels. There was a book launch for this a few weeks ago, which I couldn't go to because it was the same night as the announcement of the Man Booker Prize winner, but I asked them to send me a copy of the book anyway. This is a memoir of a young girl who escaped from North Korea, and then immediately after escaping fell into the hands of human traffickers, and it's just her story of survival and escape. There's been a lot of praise for this book, so I'm really interested to learn more about Yeonmi's life and just what it's like to be inside a society like North Korea. And at the same time as sending me this book, Penguin also sent me Girlboss by Sophia Amoruso, who is the founder of Nasty Gal or Nasty Gal, probably you should say it, Nasty Gal. And I think this is a memoir, or kind of more the story of how she kind of built her own company from nothing, and you know, how to be successful, all that kind of thing. I've heard a lot about Sophia Amoruso, I've heard a lot about this book. I'm really pleased it was sent to me, because I probably wouldn't have bought it myself. I don't really know what to expect. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a kind of manifesto or a how to be successful thing like Lean In was by Sheryl Sandberg, or if it's going to be more of a autobiography. I'm not really sure. So it's interesting. It doesn't seem to be very long, so I'm interested to see what it's like, whether it's merits all of the hype around it. And again, a few weeks ago I also went to the launch for Vintage Books for their 2016 range that is coming out, and Jeanette Winterson was there promoting her new book, The Gap of Time, which is part of the Hogarth Shakespeare range, which will be coming out throughout next year. It was so lovely to see her talk. We were fangirling a lot and hear her talk about the joy of writing and stories. I just love hearing passionate people talking about books. It's so inspiring. And so I have a copy of The Gap of Time, which is a modern take of The Winter's Tale. So the Hogarth Shakespeare project is going to be authors adapting different Shakespeare plays. So Jeanette Winterson is doing The Winter's Tale, and the rest of them, I'll read off this little bookmark that I have, which are Othello by Tracy Chevalier, Macbeth by Joan Nesbo, The Taming of the Shrew by Anne Tyler, The Merchant of Venice by Howard Jacobson, Hamlet by Gillian Flynn, The Tempest by Margaret Atwood, and King Lear by Edward St Alban. So I'm just excited about every single one of those. There's not one of those where I'm like, oh, I don't care. I just think it's going to be brilliant. So this one is The Winter's Tale, and it's retold in a modern setting. And at the beginning of the book you have a little synopsis of the original. So you have the original of The Winter's Tale, and then you have the cover version, which is The Gap of Time. So if you haven't read The Winter's Tale or any of the Shakespeare plays which are covered in this series, that's okay, it gives you a little bit of a synopsis. I do feel like I want to read the actual text of A Winter's Tale before reading this, but then at the same time, do I? Like, maybe it's going to be good just to dive in and read a Jeanette Winterson book, which happens to be inspired by Shakespeare, but I quite like seeing links in language and things like that when you read different interpretations of old stories. So I might do that, but I'm just so excited to read this. I'm so excited for the whole series. I think it's going to be brilliant. I love Shakespeare, I love Shakespeare adaptations, and the authors they've got to do this are fantastic. We also got a little goodie bag at the Vintage launch containing some ARCs, one of which was The Girls by Emma Cline. This sounds really interesting. It's out in June next year, and it's already been optioned for a film. I mean, I don't know how important that is. When people say it's been optioned for a film, I'm like, is it actually going to be a film though? I don't know. This is the kind of coming of age story set in America in the 60s, and it's very much linked to the Charles Manson cult and murders that happened with the sort of hippie flower child era, and Emma Cline was looking at who are these girls who get mixed up in awful things, like, because you're at such an impressionable age when you're kind of young to mid-teens and you're wanting to fit into a group. It sounds quite interesting. I don't know whether it's strictly about the Charles Manson group or if it's more based on those kind of goings on, but either way it's a topic which I'm going to find interesting. I think there is a fascination with what drives people to do terrible things, especially when it's a group of people. Even if you're not the ringleader, why are you part of that group? Even if you're not a psychopath yourself, it's so interesting where people come from and how they end up being in these awful situations. So I think it's going to be really cool. I don't know what the actual cover's going to look like. I'm hoping to read it before it comes out, so I'll let you know my thoughts. And the last book I have for my book haul today is one that I only got a few days ago, which is Ali Smith Public Library. Jen and Holly and I went to hear her read at the library near my house actually the other day, and I also bought a copy and she signed it for me. Not just for me, obviously, she signed everyone's book. This is apparently a collection of short stories, but to me it sounded a little bit more like essays. It's about public libraries, about people's experiences of public libraries, and you have essays or short stories written by Ali Smith interspersed with people that she's spoken to, authors, people that she's just met, giving their experiences of libraries and little stories and things like that, and some of them were at the event a few days ago, and she asked them to come up and read their own stories, which I think was really nice. When she read the final story in full, and genuinely me and Holly and Jem were like trying to not cry. It was just so emotional, and it's just so amazing to hear people talking about libraries in such a passionate and from such a loving place, that it's a community experience where you can exchange knowledge and ideas all for free, and there's just so much there. They're such an important part of our community, and it was just such a lovely, inspiring evening, such a lovely way to spend a Tuesday, and I'm so pleased that I've got the book now. I'm so looking forward to reading it, because I had no idea that she had another book coming out. I mean, she only published How to Be Both last year, which was obviously a full novel, and I was thinking, well, you know, what else are you, surely your whole time was going into that novel as if you had time for another book. So this came out of the blue for me, that she had a collection of short stories. So I'm really pleased to get it. And I think she did mention that she might be writing another book soon. So I'm like, yay, I can't wait for the next one. So that's my book haul. Hope you liked it. I can't wait to read all these books. I got them out on my bed before filming this video, and I was looking at them going, I don't want to film a video. I just want to sit and read all of these books. I literally shut myself in and just read all of them. Like, I don't even know which one to start first. I'm just so happy with all of them. So let me know if you've read any of these books. I'd be really interested, especially the graphic novel side. I did say this in my last video, and I've already got quite a few recommendations from people, so thank you so much. So if you've got any more recommendations of graphic novels, or where to start, or any comments on the books that I've shown you, then I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! This is part of the Canongate Myths series, where modern authors take myths and legends and fairy tales and rework them however they so choose. And Ali Smith has done Ovid's Metamorphoses, which is about a girl who is brought up as a boy.